This week on Southern Fried Philosophy, a passenger gets arrested for farting on a plane. We talk about the best fried chicken in North Carolina, and our special guest, Nate Ernst, with Downtown Doughnuts on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where two guys take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Knuckles studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. We've got a great show lined up for you as always. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? Without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. That's right, I'm talking about the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue one, 2016's honorable mention Father of the Year, the inventor of the redneck egg roll. Give it up on old mic number one, it's Mojo!
Is it me, or is this week just flying by?
It's flying by, buddy.
Yeah, it feels like it. Welcome back to the Southern Fried Philosophy. Go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can also go to our Instagram and Twitters at SFP Radio. And don't forget about the YouTube at youtube.com/SFP Radio.
The YouTubes.
YouTube. But also, hey, go to Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you give us a review. We would appreciate that very much.
All those fun avenues to check out the show. We do, as I said before, we have Nate Ernst from Downtown Doughnuts. He's going to be joining us through the entire episode. So what's up, Nate?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me here tonight.
Yeah, buddy.
Fun to hang out.
Yeah, we're excited. Before I ask you that question that I ask you every week, Mojo, let's take a few minutes and just talk about breaking news from today is the passing of the late Billy Graham.
Yeah, that's big news here in Charlotte, too, especially. And, I mean, worldwide, but he's based out of here in Charlotte, so I'm sure they've been planning this contingency plan for a while now. So
you would think.
Yeah.
Guy's been sick for a while.
I know a couple of the people at our church. They actually work for Billy Graham organization, so I know they'll probably be pretty tied up this week with remembrance plans and things like that. So, yeah, big story.
How about if you were planning on visiting that library this week?
Yeah.
Might want to change your plans.
See if you can postpone those tickets to another day.
Yeah, I mean, golly, you talk about a gentleman that we will never see the likes of again in that type of era generation. We'll never see that.
Yeah, he revolutionized revolutionized church, basically.
Yeah.
Church didn't have to be confined in church, could be in stadiums, as far as here in America. And I think a lot of people have taken that footprint that he used and has reduplicated it in other continents too. You look at the big coliseums and stadiums of Africa; they'll have 500,000 people show up. So he was a giant, amongst men.
Yeah, so. and in a culture where men aren't, aren't men like they used to be. I remember there was a story of a guy that got to sit on the sidelines, just sit up on stage with Billy Graham when he was giving the invitation, and usually he would sit down, during the invitation and just kind of watch the people as they came down, and he was sitting there, and Billy Graham started playing with his fingernails, and when you have that moment where you're like, oh no, this ginormous icon of the faith, and he starts playing with his fingernails, and he said, man, do you ever get one of those hangnails? And he just thought, oh man, this is going to be rough. Like my icon is going to fall, my hero is going to fall. And he goes, yeah, I had a hangnail this week and went in to go get it fixed. And the young woman was, taking care of it. And I told her about this thing. You should come check it out. And you know what? She's right there.
That's pretty cool.
As she comes down to accept Christ, he's just picking at her. He was picking his fingernails, and just the remembrance of always trying to live your day in and day out with that. So
no,
that's a cool story.
I'm sure there'll be people that after the dust settles.
Yeah.
Or who knows, maybe in the middle of it, knowing today's times, I mean, you need to politicize things all kinds of ways. But if you agree with him politically or theologically, whatever, or disagree, I mean, he lived his life on mission.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot of tremendous good. I mean, his legacy will endure for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it's not just his legacy; it's the legacy of Christ that he set up.
Yeah.
You guys ever get a chance to see him speak?
No, I haven't.
No, I was in Southern California. He came through. I couldn't tell you the year. 15, 18 years ago.
Yeah, quite a few years ago, probably.
Yeah, but you can't imagine a guy I was hearing audio today of him from the 40s and thinking, this guy has seen some stuff over that time. I mean, you've seen the whole world shift in that time. And so I got to see him speak. It was pretty, you could understand. I mean, there was something really different about him. So that was something I'll remember for sure.
Yeah, I saw him in Louisville one time. He was there.
Yeah, I don't think he ever focused on the racial issues. I mean, he was a giant during that time, of racial disharmony in the country, and looked like the country was about to break at the seams. And also during the Vietnam War, I mean, he was a stand-up guy. Yeah. So he'll be. Yeah,
that's a lot of years to never have any
scandal.
No, nothing ever, not even a little of anything. I think he had safeguards in place. I think he always had people with him, but I mean, gosh, in this day and age, I mean, that's even more impressive.
Yeah, even Mike Pence gets, ragged on for never being in a room alone with a woman, and he had the same policy as he would never, none of himself or his male staff would ever be in a room alone.
Just go back to what Nate was saying, is that how many of these big mega preachers that in today's time that actually get in trouble?
Oh, yeah.
And it's usually because of no accountability system, or, I mean, you do have men and women who celebrity stalk.
Yeah.
And then they just find their way to weave in.
Yeah.
And of course, the pastor's also complicit. So for like Nate said, to be 99 and not have any issues, I mean, that's pretty amazing today's time.
No doubt.
So you just think about all the presidencies he's seen, and the wars and the economies and the changes of continents, the radical changes have taken place. I mean, he's lived through quite a bit.
Y'all, he was before Twitter,
Claim to fame. That's going to be in the library, I think.
That's right.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you the question I ask you every week. Mojo, how you be darn?
Buddy, I'm tired, but I'm good.
You are exhausted, my friend.
Yeah, it's been my wife's out of town in San Diego.
Which we know is Spanish for never mind.
So, she gets back tomorrow night, but it's been just me on daddy duty. So, work, go get the kids, go back to work.
Yeah.
Do our little missional community family stuff. I mean, it's just been crazy this week.
Yeah. So. And you've been doing a great job with the SFP Lent, so good job on that.
You've done better, but that's okay. God uses us in different ways, I guess. So
here's what I figure: if God can talk through a donkey, I think we'll be all right. Though I've been called a jack a lot of times, so I think that's pretty equal.
But yeah, just she gets back tomorrow, so luckily I'll be able to have her, so I can actually get some more work done that I'm behind on. But that's a good thing. But yeah,
nice.
But I've found great pleasure in this weekend to just messing with my kids, though. So, I took all the Pop-Tarts and mixed them up, so that because we had two different flavors.
Yeah.
So I mixed up the flavors, you know. So it's kind of like, which one will I get this morning?
Surprise Pop-Tart.
So because they're all in that same silver cellophane pack. So
sure.
So I've got to do that. So just to humor myself a little bit during the week, to break up the levity of what's going on. So
nice.
But I don't think I've been to bed this early in quite a while.
Yeah.
I put my youngest down at 8:30, and I'm like,
attaboy.
I'm rubbing my eyes at 10. So it's been early days.
Well done.
How you be doing?
I'm good. I do have a bone to pick with you, sir.
Of course.
One of the things
in line.
that you said last week was one of the 23 facts was if you chew gum and cut onions at the same time, you won't cry. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work. I specifically tried gum, and there's nothing I can do to make this
Maybe
thing
it's
stop.
a specific gum. We may need to find that out.
Well, your article should have said that.
Yeah.
Do you have issues when you cry? Or when you cut onions, do you cry?
I'm just thinking we need to make this more complicated. Give them one more thing to do. Yeah. It's not just gum. You got to also twirl a pencil in one hand, and that's how you keep from crying. Let's just see how messy we can make it.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, here's the thing. If I ever had any secrets of the government, all you had to do was stick me in a room with just some onions that were cut, and dude, I would break in maybe 10 minutes. My eyes were going nuts.
Well, the trick
things.
is if you breathe through your mouth.
No, I tried.
You've done that too?
I tried the gum, breathing out of my mouth. They said put a piece of bread in your mouth and hold it
that
there.
don't work.
You could do silver, something about the silver.
Yeah, hold it like a silver nipple.
If I take a silver bullet and
it might work.
that might help.
It might work.
Oh my gosh.
Water helps. Like you wet the onion and that keeps the chemicals away or something.
If I do it in a pool, maybe that might
While
help.
chewing gum.
While chewing.
Breathing through your mouth.
In a
Don't forget the
snorkel.
rest. Yeah.
Filled with silver.
Yeah, exactly. Silver gum. Yeah.
I just can't, dude.
So
I hate onions.
If a listener out there has a suggestion on
Please.
how big and can cut onions without crying,
I will do the
great.
entire SFP lint cutting onions if that thing doesn't work. I'm telling you. All right, so here we go. Here's some wacky news.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's making me crazy. It's making me crazy. Every time I look around. Every time I look around. It's in my face.
All right, sir. So as I said in the promo, a passenger gets arrested and thrown off a flight for farting.
This is the second occurrence.
Is it?
Yes.
I have not been keeping score, but a pilot made an emergency landing after a fight broke out over a passenger who refused to stop passing gas. Two Dutchmen that could explain it, sitting next to the flatulent passenger, reported to ask the man to stop, but he refused. Continued to break wind around a Transavia airline flight to Dubai from Amsterdam. He wouldn't stop, and so they got in on a fight, and they just went at it. I mean, y'all.
Tore up more than once.
There's a lot going on a flight. There's a lot of sound. There's a lot of other people. It's got to be pretty bad to, instigate fisticuffs between the passengers.
It could have been really bad SBD, silent but deadly.
Oh,
So.
but the thing is, he had to have been making noise, because if you are doing an SBD, you don't know who it is,
Right.
So he had to have been making noise.
Maybe it was ye who smelt it and dealt it.
That had to have been some juicy gas. I mean,
Yeah, maybe so.
you'll recall on the flight that I had in India from Germany to India, man, that got a hold of me, and I could barely hold it.
The roll of the dice.
I held it in as best I could, but I mean, to get in a fight over the guy farting, dude, just take some Imodium or something.
Right.
But he refused. I don't know.
Do we know how many times they've fought people? Maybe they just go everywhere doing this. They just they're just on their own little personal mission to
Flying Dutchman. Yeah.
That brings a whole new
The
thing to
Flying
Dutch
Dutchman,
oven, right?
the Dutch ovens. Yeah. There's all kinds
Those
of
Dutch, they just like to fight with people farting.
fight and fart.
A fight and fart response.
So a fight and fart syndrome, or instead of fight and flight. Yeah.
Fight in flight.
Yeah. Fight and flight and fart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So, I mean, gosh, y'all, just stop. Just stop tooting.
Dude.
Go ahead.
You guys, you got a bunch of them.
Oh, all right. So the next one is, did you catch the NBA All-Star game with Fergie doing the national anthem?
I did not. I turned on ESPN to watch the highlights of it, and then they broke out into politics. I turned it back off, so I didn't watch it.
Oh, buddy. So you haven't. So I will. I'll play the video here for us. Here's
The Star-Spangled Banner is an acclaimed singer, songwriter, actress, and 8-time Grammy Award winner from Hacienda Heights, California, Fergie.
The announcer sounds a little nasally.
Yeah. Yeah. So here she goes.
Oh, say, can you see?
Not horrible right now.
Is she taking off clothes too at the
You
same time?
would think so.
What's so proud?
No?
I
mean-
at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
What do you think about that?
through the
I'm expecting a train wreck here in a second. So
Yeah.
or the ramparts we watched.
Yeah, when you start to see people starting to smile in the audience, you know that they're thinking the same thing I am. So
Yeah. Here's the thing: the singing isn't horrible. It's just the rendition.
Yeah, this is her style, right? This is how she does every song, I think.
this reminds me of when Marilyn Monroe
Yes.
did the Happy Birthday to JFK.
Yeah.
Who approved this song, though?
That's exactly a great question.
Whoa.
And you can see like everybody starting to kind of snicker a little bit. See your face, by the way.
There's Draymond Green. He's
Yeah.
This feels like how you sing it in the shower.
Yes.
I told you I have this thing about where I feel embarrassed for people.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
I
a
feel embarrassed for her.
secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
Here we go. Big finish.
Rave.
Bring it home.
You know,
Hey,
the
buddy.
notes are there.
The notes are there. Yeah.
Some
You
of the
know?
notes are there.
I'd rather feel embarrassed for her than me trying that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
being
yeah.
embarrassed
Oh, yeah.
for me.
What a train wreck.
Are you talking about Fergie, or are you talking about the mic that just
Oh,
dropped?
this setup at the studio sometimes. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, golly, I couldn't do any better. I thought like you said, the notes were there, but the rendition, no, that was.
I had
was rough.
certain parts with part of the delivery, you know, the ying ying, you know, I don't know. People can have their own interpretation of the national anthem. Doesn't bother me because you know, Van Halen famously did a guitar rendition. I mean, there's been several, so that don't bother me. I know people probably will be flapping their gums about the rendition of it.
Yeah, right, they are, but
That is probably it had the potential to be the sexiest version of the national anthem I've ever heard. I mean,
I don't.
It's like, what if you could sing, but you can only sing one style of song? If it's not
Oh, that's a good question.
if it's not a talk sing song, whatever the heck the Black Eyed Peas you'd call whatever she was
Yeah.
doing there.
Yeah.
I like she got acclaimed singer. So I don't know if the announcer was doing quotes during that or air quotes while he announced that.
I don't
or
know. I think he was doing another shot of Flonase because he was. Boy,
Well, he was a bit nasally.
Yeah.
I couldn't take him, by the way.
Imagine him doing play-by-play.
Oh,
Yeah.
it would not be Christina Aguilera. Like when she does all that, like
Yeah.
you know, up and down stuff. I can't
She does
do
this
that.
thing
That
with
drives
the
me bananas.
fingers on the hand.
Yeah,
on
I don't
the
get that
microphone.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that? I don't get that.
expressing
It's like
herself.
she's playing the trumpet. Like if the microphone was a trumpet.
Maybe she's Louis Armstrong reincarnated.
Didn't they? Well, anyway.
Wait, Fergie?
He went a much different direction this time, if that's the case.
Yeah,
you know?
no doubt. Fergie's not bad looking though. You know, she's not bad looking though.
And she's like 40 something. So
Well,
she's not
I am
bad
too.
she ain't bad looking. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh well. So here's my next one. You know, with all the tragedy that's happening in this country, one thing that we need to talk about is the lobster emoji that came out. There's a lobster emoji,
not know
and
that.
there was a backlash from Maine that got the senator from Maine even riled up. That there's only 8 legs on the lobster emoji, and people went in a panic in Maine because there are, in fact, 10 arms.
I am glad to hear Maine's doing so well, though. I'm glad to hear they're out of problems.
That's the only issue
and,
they have.
Yeah, they're like, the list was empty. Guess what? Something popped up this week.
You know, they
We got legs on the
might be out of problems because it is Maine. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Once you got rid of Angela Lansbury and Murder, She Wrote of people dying every week, I think that pretty much
right.
summed it up.
All 12 people were like, we're doing good up here. So
I listen. If you're in Maine right now, I need you to get down on the ground, get on your knees, and thank the good Lord that that's the only thing you got to worry about.
no doubt.
I mean, come on, y'all.
A senator got involved. That's
The
what.
senator was like, "Hey, there's not enough legs.
you know what?
We need to make this thing work."
part of his platform for re-election, I think. Just
he will probably use it too.
Well spent tax dollars on solving the crisis of the emoji.
So here's to you, Senator Angus King, by the way, who is the senator.
That's a pretty badass.
Yeah,
that's a rock and roll name right there.
Name.
That's like
he's fine. He's allowed.
That's like the new guitarist for AC/DC or something.
That was also MacGyver's first name, by the way.
Angus.
Did not know that.
Did not know that either.
I mean,
I think I knew that, but probably forgotten it.
Yeah, so there you go. There's that. Go ahead and go with
I'm just saying, for today's show, I found one. A Michigan bakery sells 600 plus Flamin' Hot Cheetos donuts in 2 hours.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
So
if
you're looking for some unique recipes here, maybe you need to check this out. Grand Rapids, Michigan, the results are in. Despite doubt and skepticism from many, it appears a Grand Rapids bakery donut experiment was a rousing success. There were mixed reactions when the Donut Conspiracy announced they were releasing a flaming hot Cheeto donut for 1 day only. However, after more than 600 of the cheesy creations were sold in less than 2 hours, it's hard to argue the idea wasn't a good one. So
kind of the opposite of Maine, though. If you're in Michigan, you're just desperate, like, please just set my mouth on fire with just artificial. I need artificial chemicals setting my tongue on fire because we live in Michigan. So
I've actually started bonfires with flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
It's legit.
I've heard that's a thing.
This was a secret that I'm just going to reveal to everyone.
Okay.
Well, I won't say who because I don't want to get this person in trouble, but a friend talked to a fire arson investigator, and the arson investigator said, if you're going to burn a place down, use potato chips because they never search for that. They look for accelerants like gasoline, kerosene, things like that, but no one would ever think potato chips. So I'm just saying, if you got to burn a place down, you heard it here on Southern Fried Philosophy.
A couple bags of Wavy Lays and
go to town.
But you think they spread misinformation ever just to kind of curb the dumb ones?
All of a sudden, that's their main thing. They search for potato chips.
Yeah. They're like, we know who did it. It's the guy who listened to our advice.
Well, now we're just disseminating that information, so now you don't know. So that's what we're doing.
Fake news.
We are fake news. Facts are optional here on this show. Speaking of facts, these are the 10 best places for fried chicken in North Carolina. I'm going to ask you if you know any of these. Carolina Fried Chickens in Robbins, North Carolina is number 1, by the way.
Really?
What do you think about that? Tucked in Robbins, North Carolina, their chicken is almost as good as Grandma's.
I might have to put that on the list.
Have you? We're going to go through this and see if you've been there or not.
All right.
Don't fall asleep yet. Beasley's Chicken and Honey in Raleigh.
I have not, but I've heard good things about it.
You can sweeten the deal with their waffles, they say. Price's Chicken Coop here in Charlotte. I think we've talked about that once or twice.
Been to Price's several times.
Yeah, we were by there and I wanted to stop. Actually, we went to Mama Risotto's. Actually, that's what
Mama Risotto's.
Risotto's.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
Hathaway's Fried Chicken in Monroe.
No, but that's close by.
Their picture of their mac and cheese looks legit, and they have biscuits. So I might give that a shot.
That's a 3
The
for
chicken
3.
actually doesn't look that great, to be honest with you. Mr. Charles Chicken and Fish in Charlotte.
I have not, but who can argue with chicken and fish?
Here's where I want to go. Daddy D's Super Soul Food in Hendersonville, North Carolina. The fact that it's called Daddy D's kind of makes me want to go there.
I'll be by there Friday.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
I would love for you to stop by.
I'll do that.
Daddy D's. White Swan Barbecue and Fried Chicken. In multiple locations, it says.
They're that good.
They're in multiple locations. The Chicken Hut in Durham.
Been to the Chicken Hut in Durham.
D&U Chicken in Wilmington.
I have not been there.
And how about this? Making the list of the top 10 places in North Carolina, Mr. C's Restaurant in Concord, North Carolina.
No way.
I swear to you,
Dude, no
look at it
way.
right there.
Now
See?
we know this is rigged. Have you ever been to Mr. C's?
Listen, I live close by Mr. C's, and I swear that place is packed every time I go by there. All the time, right?
It's astounding.
It's cheap food. That's why.
With the drive-through, yeah. They've got it cornered.
And it is you better have your drive-in game there because it is the drive-through system is crazy.
Yeah, is it?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even tried it.
You got to go there, just get like a water and drive through there. I mean, it is, dude, it is.
I'm here for the
crazy.
water. Any good?
I can't say I've ever had the chicken.
Well, how are you going to say this is rigged if you never had the chicken?
I usually base a restaurant like on burgers and fries. And,
but this is a chicken questionnaire.
Yeah, but if you don't have the basics down, how can you do chicken?
What? Look,
I'll give you this. I will try it.
You can't go to Chick-fil-A and say, I'm going to judge Chick-fil-A on their sausage biscuit. You can't do that. It's not possible.
But hold on. In my favor, they didn't introduce the sausage biscuit until the 90s. We grew up with Chick-fil-A. Remember when Chick-fil-A at the mall?
But I'm just saying the whole thing.
The little old lady on a Saturday night, you'd go back and get multiple samples and have you all complete meal? Yeah.
Wait, what?
You don't remember that?
No.
In the mall, there was a Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
and there would be a little old lady out there standing with samples.
See, that's what got me, because I always went and got the bourbon chicken. I never went to the Chick-fil-A.
Well, you got to get the bourbon chicken at the whatever the name Chinese restaurant.
I love that place.
They're probably a lot more aggressive with their samples.
Oh yeah,
Chick-fil-A
sample?
was. So yeah.
They would throw them at you, shove them up your nose.
That's because the little old lady that handed out samples was trying to actually get away from her grandkids, or kids were trying to push them off on. So she was there gladly working at Chick-fil-A.
Sure, drops her grandkids off at the mall. Yeah, does her little KFC job.
Lets them hit up the bourbon chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Do they have bourbon in China? I'm just curious.
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, we're gonna have to give Mr. C's a run, a try. I might actually do that tonight.
So they were number 9.
They were at number 9.
Who's number 10?
D&U Chicken in Wilmington. Yeah.
D&U.
Yeah. That doesn't sound appealing, does it? It doesn't quite have the same ring as Daddy D's.
Is it like someone's name D, or these are just initials D and U?
All I've got here is D&U. It should be DUI. Is open 3 days a week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Drop in for perfectly seasoned fried chicken.
Actually, it was probably D&U was actually probably DUNUTS. That's probably what it was.
Do nuts.
D nuts. D's nuts.
I'm just going to leave that there. All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Nate Ernst from Downtown Doughnuts.
We'll call him Mr. C's to go order.
You think so? All right. We'll be back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Words cannot describe how awesome Robert and his team at Webmerized are. In our time of need, Robert came through for us and devoted more time than expected to help our organization develop our new website. It truly is a blessing to have an individual that can speak to the average person not in the IT world in a manner that can easily be understood. The process of working with his team was painless, and I look forward to working with them for future projects. Our website is spectacular, and I'm really proud of what was developed by Webmerized. Thanks. Don't take Stella H's word for it, and also Southern Fried Philosophies, but go out to webmerized.com, WEBMERIZED, or check out the sponsors link on our website. And if you mention the word biggin in your order, you'll get 10% off. Check them out at webmerized.com for your web services needs. All right, we are back. This is Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, and with us in studio is Nate Ernst. I'm saying that right, correct?
Absolutely.
Oop, let me turn you up.
No, you're good.
From Downtown Doughnuts. And I need to set the record straight. When you first opened up, Nate, Biggin went down, and he got some donuts. I brought him back, and then we sat around here for probably about an hour or so, and then you chit-chatted and tried to get stuff set up. And then we reviewed your donuts.
Yeah.
We gave you a 3.5 out of 5 biscuits.
That's true.
But you can't just take a donut by the first time you try it. So we went back, and then kept going back, and then kept going back, and still keep going back. And I realized that that's not a fair assessment of your donuts. And,
I'm glad to hear this. I'm glad to hear this.
And you have had to have, since day one, you had to have changed something to it. You had from day one. You can't say that they're the same donuts.
There's a lot of things that go into what makes it good, and so it adjusts. Adjusts.
All right, because even at the beginning, weren't they like they were small?
They were small. Yeah.
See,
we've fought a lot of There's a lot of factors that go into it. Donuts are one of these like finicky desserts. It's fried dough, but it's finicky still. So when we opened, it's the summertime. It's hot. You're in an old building from 1915, I think, so 100-year-old building, and So that thing is not made to heat and cool and keep humidity at bay. So we've got multiple systems in place. We've got a new, all kinds of factors going into it, a new business, new team. And so they were small, not intentionally, but that's how the equipment spits them out. And we adjusted and eventually bought a new piece of equipment.
Okay.
And that helped with the size. And even now, even with a new piece, which is always surprisingly expensive for a tiny piece of metal, you could get a used car. But now we still sometimes have size variations. So
really?
We just all keep an eye on it. We all just, and you're cranking out, hundreds of donuts. So you got to kind of keep a keen eye for it because you get lost in running the rest of it too. So
I'm sure.
Well, I'm glad it was better than 3.5. I was actually thinking about bringing you just 3.5 donuts tonight, but I brought you a whole half dozen.
So you brought some donuts.
I don't know what they are. I told the girls, hey, just make a half dozen of whatever you like, which is their favorite way to. It's all of our favorite ways to make donuts. So
go grab those day olds in the back.
That one dropped on the floor. That'll be great.
That's a
for
great
these
one.
guys.
They love it.
Yeah, that's right.
I will say that I will bump mine up to pretty close to a solid 4.5.
All right, I'll take that. I'll take that any day.
Maybe pushing, like, if I could do like a 4.75.
Ooh.
I really do love these
decimal
donuts.
points. I like the double decimals.
Didn't you guys do a collaboration here recently with Red Hill?
Yes. Chris over at Red Hill, who, just like everybody I've met down here, is like the nicest guy ever. And he said, hey, I've got this idea for a donut beer. When people tell me their ideas, I feel like I don't know how to do the rest of that idea. So it was great. He said, yeah, here's what I need. Here's how we're going to do it. And he just kind of said, it's going to happen. And I just kept waiting. And then one day he texted me and said, let's make it happen. So we started gathering up donuts right then. He took about 20 pounds of donuts and turned it into a donut beer. And it was great. I got a growler out of it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
so.
I've heard great things about it from several people out there.
Yeah, it was great. And of course, he was super easy to work with and super nice. And so, yeah, I'd love to do it again too sometime. I think he's got all kinds of, I'm seeing every week he has new variations coming out. So that one was really good though.
Super cool guy at Red Hill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friend of the show.
Oh, good.
But I have not had this donut beer, so now I'm.
Well, we got to get around two. And he said, hey, I think it's going to taste this way or that way. But of course, you don't really know until you get into it. So as we were doing it, we figured out it might actually be a little different than that. So we'll see how a round two would go on that.
I'm kind of finicky on flavored beers. And this is kind of way off subject, but how finicky some breweries, craft breweries, will add like so much artificial sweetener or flavor to it.
Yeah.
It just makes it way, you want to think it tastes like that, but it really don't,
Well, and we've talked about this before, is like the Sweet Baby Jesus that I from Duclaw that I loved for a while, and then I tasted the one from High Branch, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
And the artificial peanut butter and the Sweet Baby Jesus just doesn't do it for me like High Branch does.
Yeah, these ones were not flavored, so I think he was using the doughiness of it, but we did not include any flavors. We didn't do icings or anything else, so it was just the dough part. It was great.
Well, cake batter ice cream and cake batter flavored everything is so
you
good.
can't go wrong. Yeah,
I'm sure donuts they had to be great.
So what started donuts? Where did your love of donuts begin, and what made you decide to open up?
Yeah.
Actually, let's back up. Are you using your college degree right now for your
My college degree is English with a minor in technical and professional writing. I would say.
So you nailed it.
Yeah, pretty much. Just everyone knows that's a quick segue into donuts. It's on the exit, on your commencement address or your graduation speech. No, so we did donuts not because everybody asked us, "Have you been making donuts forever?" The truth is, we did not make donuts until 2 nights before we opened.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Well, that explains so much now.
Yeah.
That's a big roll of the dice, man.
It was a big... Now, I was not nervous about this. I think my wife and a lot of my family, maybe some friends, were very nervous about this. I thought, that's fine. It'll be fine.
No big deal. Just throw some stuff together.
No
It'll
big deal.
Fine.
We'll figure it out. So We opened it because we love downtown Concord. So we wanted a business down here. For years, we've looked at businesses come and go. We've seen some of the ones that have stuck around, like you're talking about Red Hill's great, and the Creamery, of course, and some of the restaurants that have been here a long time. And we wanted to be a part of that, make our own little contribution, and kind of create a place people could always go. So we were looking at a place you would want to go back to often, and a place that was there all the time, because it's really tough to plan around not being there, you know, whether it's days or hours or something. And, you know, when you've got kids or you've got family in town or something, you're looking for something. So, and you can't kind of be second guessing, because we're not going to spend 50 minutes packing up the car to go somewhere and then it's closed. So all those things went together, and we ended up... we've tossed around tons of business ideas over the years. We've got 4 kids now, so those plans have been backburnered and front burnered and side burnered all along. And this just seemed like the right fit. I was working full time, so I did it on the side. I would come in about 7:30, and then I'd just work until 9. I could work from home, so I'd go work at home, and then about 5:15 or something, I'd be back and working on the shop. So we built the tables, and we built the chalkboards, and we did the trim, and we did the counters, and, you know, the coffee counter and the donut counter. If you guys have been there, you know, you'll know what I'm saying. And so not, you know, there's a few things that we bought, but it was a lot of work to upfit, painting and a lot of things. So we did that, and the donuts we were, you know, of all the business ideas, donuts just had a lot of momentum. You know, they're getting popular everywhere. Concord has no donut shop, despite having a Krispy Kreme distribution right down the road here. But
makes no sense, does it?
Well, you know, I think they must have. Well, I don't want to spread hearsay, but I think they must do pretty well with the grocery stores, and that must be
that and the fundraiser stuff, probably. Too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we saw that had a lot of momentum, and all of Concord had no donut shop, and I felt like it was a race against time because even now as we're talking, I think there's 4 shops. So it went quick for a town of 80 or 90,000 people. That's quite a few to pop up all in about 6 months. So so that's what kind of launched Donuts. So
just on a whim, I'm just going to do that. That's insane.
The best way to start a business and spend a lot of money is on a whim.
How long have you guys been in business now?
So we opened June. So what are we, 9 months, something like that? 9 months, I think.
Well, I tell you what, the success rate of a restaurant, especially in the restaurant industry, is very short. If you've never actually prepared the product, you know, I mean, that's, for you to be sitting here 9 months and actually not be like sweating, you know, is a tremendous accolades, because that was the industry I was in. Yeah, so you just see people pop up, and then all of a sudden you go back to try them again, and they're closed.
Yeah, it's really the consistency is tough to be consistent with service and product and the rest. I mean, you know, hopefully we make it look easy, but really, I mean, I've poured just hundreds of hours into this thing. You know,
I'm sure.
I think about it all the time. I dream about it. Look, every few nights I dream that I clean the whole store, and then I wake up and go, "Oh no, I didn't actually do it. I got to go in and do it." So
it's a labor of love. I mean, you know,
absolutely.
You work a lot of hours. You sweat. You shake your fist at the sky, but you're your own man. You know, so there's a lot of reward of that. But just for people that don't understand, donuts are a temperamental. Little SOB. So, I mean, it's like, you know, when consulting in restaurants and stuff, you have the correct ratio of flour to water, you know, to yeast. Yeah. And, I mean, it's got to be on the spot, because especially here in the South, where, you know, one day you'll be no humidity and the next day you'll be 400% humidity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you constantly have to adjust your ratios and recipes on the fly. So, there's just for a donut to be so, like he said earlier, to be so tiny, it is very complicated. I mean, especially here in the South, we have no consistency at all. You know how it is in the wintertime.
Sure.
We'd be freezing our rear ends off, and 2 inches of snow the next day is 92.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
And the other thing, too, to point out is with your donuts, like you make them on the spot. So they're always hot. So that hot light is on all the time, because they're brand new. So they're not just sitting in a case, just getting, you know,
Yeah, and it's hard because you're kind of opening up the process. Everybody's seeing you do it, you know? So it's like, if something goes wrong, we're right there out in the open, you know? You got to kind of, so, I mean, you know, we've had just some amazing staff that, you know, has helped us run it. I mean, because we're open 12 hours a day for 6 days a week.
Wow.
So there's an hour on each side of prepping and cleaning and everything else. And then occasionally we do Sundays. It's a lot of hours to fill. Yeah. And we have just had some really incredible people to, you know, help. You know, I think the first 3 or 4 people I hired just worked the longest days, and they were just amazing. I still occasionally text them when I can to go, "Are you sure? How's college working? Are you sure you don't want to come back to the donut shop?"
Well, but I think you find, being in a small business like you're in, especially in the hospitality industry, I think you find more loyal, more dedicated people, because some people are just ingrained with that corporate mindset,
sure,
you know, to where they'll work at the fast food joints or the corporate chains, and they have that mindset. So when you find, I mean, when I had my restaurants, you know, I had 5 burger restaurants at one time.
Wow. The
kids that I hired still keep in touch with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, because I guess they look. I wouldn't give myself this much cred, but maybe as a father figure or a big brother figure. I mean, I've been there for a lot of their weddings, a lot of their births. So the dedication, and like you said, I mean, I had 16-year-old girls coming in and painting walls and for 14 hours a day to get it open. It just the dedication's crazy.
Yeah, so. It's awesome. And it's I mean, you know, it's a testament to the Concord here. We've got people who are really interested in Concord sticking around and having cool stuff, and they're interested in being a part of it. And, you know, when your shop has 1 or 2 people in it at a time right now, you know, you're a huge part of whatever that is, whatever that footprint is. So yeah, it's been awesome. And the community too has been great to act, you know, to show up like they showed up our first couple days where...
Dude, it was like a couple hours to try to get something.
Yeah, it was crazy. And, you know, seriously, my wife and I thought we would have our kids with us. We thought we might meet a dozen people. We thought this would be kind of this... Because, like I said, I worked full-time. I didn't have intentions of stopping that. So to have a line down the road for, you know, down the street for 12 hours, 2 days in a row was just insane. We ran out the second day. We ran out of our shortening. You got to use a special donut shortening. You can't just like go to Sam's and get liquid or something.
Some Crisco.
Yeah, so you can. So you know, yeah, it's like you just can't do anymore at that point. Yeah. And so I couldn't get some until I went way out to another place and bought some from another donut place to be able to open the next week. Because I mean, I had no idea. Our purveyor is going like, "Are you sure you have it set up right?" I'm like, "You have no idea what this looks like here." They weren't expecting it either. So, you know.
Well, next time, just call Mr. C's and see if you can get some of their used chicken shortening.
I'm sure
that would be an interesting concoction.
Fried chicken donut.
Do you mind if I come in and play on a day off?
Yeah, that's right. We need to do it.
Well, I'm drinking a donut beer from Red Hill.
There you go. One of the things though that I really like about your business is you keep it guessing. There's all kinds of different donuts that are on special. So there was a Harry Potter donut.
Yeah, sure.
Star Wars donuts. All kinds of different things that really kind of. That's kind of cool.
That's all my wife. My wife is like, she stays home with our 4 kids, but she's a genius. She's just like, the kids don't know how good they have it. And then one day they'll go, "Oh, other people are not like her." So she comes up with all that stuff. And the Harry Potter ones were one of those things when we first talked about the idea. It must have been in the first or second day. She went, I bet we could do this. She started writing down what they could be. She kind of refined it. So she was ready to go on that. And we had no idea how much people she's well into that world. I know it, but I'm not as hardcore. People identify strongly with the Harry Potter stuff. So people come in and say, "I'm a Ravenclaw," or "I'm a what," you know, and so it was
I'm
good.
Lost. I've never even seen the movie.
Well, there you go. Well, you've had the donuts, so
but you're right. There's dedicated following.
Yeah, it was great. So we're gonna have to figure out some more ways of doing that. I'm sure my wife has a lot more ideas.
Is she on Pinterest all day trying to come up with donut designs?
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, the internet has made all of this stuff just amazing, right? I mean, we do everything. I do most of it from my phone. And so between websites and Instagram, and people make cool stuff at home that they post, and people have written to us with ideas and posts in the comments about ideas. But we started out with about 6 months of specials. So we knew for about 6 months what it would be. The tricky thing is, how do you get just enough of an ingredient for a week of a donut, and there's lots of things that get complicated when you try to just add one thing. So
one of the things that I also like that you did was a while back you helped out with the local homeless shelter, and you had like just the chocolate donuts, but if you brought in some paper products, then you got like 10% off. So you're also giving back to the community, which I think is a really cool thing you guys are doing.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, we'd like to find more ways to do it. What's so hard, like I was saying, when people have ideas, I don't know the rest of it, and that was one of those things. Somebody at our church said, "Hey, I just talked to the Salvation Army and they need this."
Yeah.
And so I kind of did some digging to make sure that was actually the case. And it was actually the case. We showed up and they said, set it here where all that stuff goes. There was nothing there.
Wow.
And so it was it was a great opportunity. People, and I think we filled the back of my little SUV with stuff, and people showed up with stuff. It was amazing. So we'll have to find more ways to do it. It's hard, it's always hard to just figure out the right way to do it and not, you could kind of kill yourself trying to chase everything down, and then you never know what the real need is. So that was one that was really great. And the Salvation Army is like 2 blocks from us. So it was a perfect, we'll have to do that again sometime.
Yeah, very cool. So what's next for you guys? Any inside scoop of
Oh man, we have a lot of, we have a lot of ideas floating around, but it's hard to get traction on some of it because it takes some dedicated time.
Sure.
I will tell you there's a vehicle restoration in the works.
Oh, wow.
That would be very cool. Now, we've just done the exterior is hopefully complete soon. We have not done, it does not run.
Okay.
So
right. It's just for looks, huh?
Yeah, for now, but it would be cool to restore it. So stay tuned for that. We really would love to get more into some of the wedding and event things.
Yeah.
We've done some weddings. We've done some events for ESPN. Uptown actually ordered a whole bunch of donuts one time.
Hopefully they talk about politics, because I can't seem to get away from it.
You love them.
We stipulated when we delivered, these are politics-free donuts.
Did you bring? Did they say make America great again?
No.
Make sports great again.
Make donuts great again.
Yeah, that's what it was. So there's some of that, and I think there's another theme coming up, especially with the resurgence of superheroes. I think there's a lot of potential there. So
that's a good call.
So yeah.
How much would it cost for us to have a Southern Fried donut? Southern Fried Philosophy donut?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, let's figure that out. I bet we could figure something out with that.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
We talked about the business and everything. Kind of give us the makeup of, or not a recipe, your recipe, but just kind of give people an idea of the process of actually making a donut.
Yeah, sure. So
I'm a food nerd, so I love stuff
yeah,
like this.
these are cake donuts, so they're not as dense as like what people are used to at Dunkin' Donuts. That is
Dunkin's horrible.
Those are sad
Good
donuts.
coffee, but
well, they're dropping the donuts from their name, so I think that's probably all part of it. Because they used to actually make them on site. Now they just ship them in frozen. There's a few locations that still make them, but I don't even know what make means at that point. So they're
ripping open the box, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna need some scissors. So we do a vanilla cake donut. That's our base, and then we do a bunch of toppings. That helps us do them just in time. When we do something like a chocolate or apple cider, we've got to switch out the recipe, and we can't reuse it on the same equipment. So that's why we do those like on a Sunday when we're not usually open, and we'll open for a couple hours and do those. And then our the toppings, you can mix and match, and we try to do something interesting anytime we do so we do 12 donuts. And one is a special of the week. So that one rotates every week. And we try to do something that you can't usually get there, combined with sometimes things that you can get there. So,
but the process is just like a specific cake flour, sugar, yeast, water.
Yeah, Yeah.
basically.
He's not giving away.
Yeah, I can't give you too many secrets.
Are there
but-
11 herbs and spices?
Kill me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
And
right.
special donut shortening. I'm writing this down.
Yeah. Now, don't. Yeah, that one doesn't take much to figure out on that one. But
Do you guys use a conveyor belt system, or is it just the old school? Because you know that like some donuts are actually process cut, and then they.
oh yeah, no, we do. We've got a mixer in the back. That's where we make the actual donut batter. We bring it out. We put it in the machine. And, years ago, I mean, they've been making these machines since I think the 30s, maybe. And the machine cuts the donut for you. So there's some adjusting to do on there, but it's a fried donut and it's all automated there. So that machine.
Even into the oil, it's automated.
Yeah.
It just drops it right in there.
Yeah, it's got
Drop
a
it
big
like it's hot.
hopper, and you fill that hopper. That thing is all on. It's a pretty cool contraption because it's all driven on a motor that it's all the measurements and timing are all right, and then
cool.
And then that just fries it about a minute and a half or so, and then at the end it drops out. You let it cool for a moment, and then you top them. So.
Yeah, the only time I've ever made donuts was the old school. Like, I mean, the restaurant has been there since I think Benjamin Franklin ate there or something. You had to they drop the donut, hand drop them, and then you had to flip them with the big chopsticks.
Yeah, right.
Some crazy process.
Yeah, that's a whole thing that.
Yeah, I remember being at a restaurant auction one time, and there was a little Orbit's donut fryer.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so that's what this is, but it's a big one.
I tried to buy it from my house. I was like, I'm going to be in heaven.
So what's gotten really popular is they've started selling imitations from China. And so apparently this has kind of overrun the market here where people are buying these machines. But the problem is they're from China, so they don't have the right certifications. People have tried to open shops with them, but they're not UL certified or ECL certified or whatever the right acronym is. And so they can't, and then they're left with this machine, and so it's been a long process to figure out the right way to approach that, because you go, man, I could get it for $900. That seems way better, and then you're like, oh, that's why. So luckily, I did not end up with one of those.
Well, I tell you what, any type of restaurant business, or bakery, bar, coffee shop. I mean, there's a lot of expense that goes into this stuff, and the equipment is not cheap.
It is not cheap.
I don't know what you guys invested. I'm not asking you, but I know that putting that stuff together. So I mean, I wish people realized that how much it's actually cost. I mean, so these guys, I mean, literally they dine on the dollars that you bring in. There's not a whole lot of profit margin.
That's right.
So for people to actually do this and take the risk to do that, I mean, be grateful, patronize these places.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I never know the right answer when folks say, how's business? And I want to say it is great, and it is great. But you're right. I mean, the difference of another 5 people coming in that day or not coming in is a big difference, Grabbing a cup of coffee or not getting a cup of coffee is a real big difference. So when we tell people we appreciate your business, we are as honest as we possibly could be, because we do appreciate that. So it's fun when we see the same people come in a few times, and that's really fun. So.
Yeah, places like for example, you take coffee shops. I mean, you can see like sports bars, places like that. They have a lot of revenue generators, but places like donuts, that has the coffee. Luckily, you have coffee, but you'll have places that just serve coffee. I mean, it takes a lot of a cup of coffees to pay the light bill and mortgage, and
once you add a little bacon to a donut, there's not a lot left.
Sally, you need to cut back on that bacon.
Which you do have a bacon biscuit.
That's right.
A bacon donut.
Yeah, maple bacon donut. That's pretty popular at a lot of shops. We've seen them do it. And
salty and sweet. So.
Yeah.
It's legit too, and it's good bacon.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I might have had a couple dozen.
As long as it's not turkey bacon, I'm all right.
I will say this. You say it takes like a minute and a half to do one. When you're watching it, it feels like it's like 20 minutes. You're like, come on, baby.
I know.
Salivate.
We feel it too. We feel it too. There's nothing like it's like you will it with your mind while you're watching it. Like, come on, this time. And it's like, you just got to be patient. You just got to let the process happen.
Just let her go.
Yeah.
Do you ever see it when 10 people walk in, you're like, all right, Go ahead and drop.
We try to do it. We try to do it. We try to be smart about it, and then occasionally somebody comes in for just a cup of coffee, and you end up with a few donuts that you don't need, but we're happy to have.
Throw that in the back for the beer again.
No, I brought them to you guys tonight. That's what we're eating here.
I can't wait to
rake them
into that thing.
Rake them out of the garbage for us.
Well, and like a Saturdays down here downtown are so busy, so we do just keep it cranking on a Saturday, but something like a Tuesday, it's like, who knows? I mean, there's no telling what that day is going to look like. So
and I really appreciate you guys just sticking around in downtown Concord. I mean, it's a great shop. I love the shop that you're in, and I really do believe in downtown Concord. I say it every episode. It's a beautiful downtown historic Concord, but it really is a great little downtown.
Great. It's awesome.
Well, I like downtowns. Period. I think that's where the heartbeat of America starts and kind of ends in a lot of places. I mean, it's where politics happens. It's where big sales and big trades and a lot of that happens. But also that's where the lifeblood of an economy for a community is. The communities that you see that they're downtown is struggling and out of sorts. That they have no continuity in that community anymore. Yeah. So
and what you get downtown is you get people who care about that place. They live close by. I mean, almost all the business owners around here live somewhere within 10 minutes, and so I'll tell you, we were looking for something we needed like cups or something at Sam's Club the second day of our opening. And we saw Chris over here who runs the grill, who we had been introduced by a mutual friend. Another just stellar guy. You're just like, God, these guys are way better than me. They're so much nicer than me. He saw us running around at, 7 o'clock at Sam's. He knew we had to open. We needed more stuff. He said, I will find it. He literally left his cart and ran through Sam's finding it because he cares about downtown Concord too. And sometimes that looks like running around Sam's Club for cups or forks or something. But God, I mean, that's just like such a stand-up thing. Yeah. If you're opening, if you're working at McDonald's somewhere along an interstate or something, there's just not the same. Now, we need those too, but there's something specific about downtown because just like we've poured in tons of hours, I'm sure he has too, and he thinks about it all the time. And
he works the grill too. I've been in there and had a sandwich. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, those just there's so many people down here that have helped us out, and the guy from the creamery has helped us out, and I just sat down with a list of questions one day and just ran through, and he just answered. I mean, these guys are, and it's hard, right? If you run an ice cream shop and I'm opening a donut shop, could not have been a nicer guy. If you've seen him in person, he could easily bench press all three of us, but he didn't. He sat down and answered questions. I mean, it's amazing.
But it benefits him too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just as much.
Well, that's his mindset, which is awesome.
More people are downtown. They may not stop at his place for ice cream today, but they might come back tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So, and then you could have like an ice cream donut.
Now, this is the next thing I'd love to do one day. Ice cream sandwich with the ends of donuts. Yeah.
Why do you keep me fat? That's the problem.
We're here, man. We're here for you.
You need to hook up your donuts down at the grill. Maybe they make some hamburger sliders.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I got all kinds of ideas.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Awesome. Well, we're going to play a game. It's called 10 in 1, where I'm going to try to ask you 10 questions and see if you can get it in under a minute. Would you be willing to play?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go. All right, cream cheese icing or glaze?
Oh, cream cheese.
Your favorite thing to do in downtown Concord?
Oh, I like the new basement arcade. That's a fun thing.
Right, it's awesome. We need to have them on the show.
Yeah.
What was the last show that you binge watched?
Schitt's Creek.
Careful, this is a family show.
Sorry, it's their last name, Schitt. So it's their last name.
Dough or donuts?
Donuts.
Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you dislike Dunkin' Donuts?
Ooh, 7.
Favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Somebody just mentioned the old cartoon with Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan. And it was called like Pro Players or something. I got to find the name again. And it brought me back. So that one's been on my mind the last day.
The best drink to chase down a donut?
Oh, milk.
Yeah, I'll take bourbon for that.
Or Red Hills donut beer.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
People want to know, what kind of toothpaste do you use?
Sensodyne. I got sensitive teeth. Like a 70-year-old man.
Scale of 1 to 10, Fergie's national anthem.
Oh, which side is good?
10 being best.
I'm going to say 8.
Wow.
I like that people are talking about it, so that evens it out for me. I don't want to listen to it again, but I like that it got so much attention.
We're going to ask, we asked this to everybody. Everybody knows what their spirit animal is. What is your spirit food, Nate?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I gotta say donut, but if I have a number 2, tacos.
Tacos, all right.
Yeah.
Taco donuts.
Nice. Well done, sir. Well done. You made it. All right. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, this is great.
All right. So we're going to go into what I learned.
I can tell you what I didn't learn.
What did you not learn?
I did not learn Nate's donut recipe.
I learned that once I decide to fart on the plane, I should probably hold back if they tell me to stop.
Yeah, that 2 Dutchmen may kick your rear end. So.
I say you learn to fight.
If there's Dutchmen around, you better
be able to back it up.
You better have fisticuffs ready to roll.
One thing you don't talk about is airline fight club. Never talk about it.
I learned, hey, you don't want to mess with Maine's emojis. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, because obviously their senator has a desk in a corner somewhere in somebody else's office that he has time on his hands. Yeah.
I did learn that right after this, I'm going to Downtown Doughnuts. So where's the store, Nate? Just so for people want to check it out.
Sure, yeah, it's right across from Hotel Concord, which is hopefully opening shortly here. And it's if you know where the library is on the north side, it's just a couple doors down from that.
Nice. Awesome. Well, very cool.
And also for our international and also domestic listeners, I'm sure he'll ship you some.
Yeah. Do you ship internationally?
That would be a giant mess. So
we could figure it out. Yeah. There's a huge opportunity there.
We've got a huge following in the Netherlands. So there we go.
There you go.
All right. So that's another episode of Southern Fried Philosophy.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining the show. Please go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Also go to our youtube.com/SFP radio. And please go to iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Go to the Southern Fried Philosophy on there. We appreciate you sharing our episodes. We appreciate you subscribing. And also, just give us a review. We'd really appreciate that.
No doubt. And we'll still be continuing Southern Fried Lent. So if you want to check us out, you can go to southernfriedphilosophy.com, our Facebook page, and then click on SFP Lent. That'll get you over there. And we've been having a good time doing that. So keep on keeping on.
I'm learning a lot.
All right. And as always, keep it rolling.